Yeah. Oh boy, this game does not open strong with the soundtrack. Yeah. So, I'm just gonna ramble about that while we wait to see whether the thing actually goes live. The first level of the game has a song with vocals on it. That was a mistake, it does not sound good. In fact, it kind of sounds terrible. Like, some of the worst EDM garbage I've ever heard.
Is this the first game in the series, or just the...
This is Shantae Half Genie Hero, which was the newest one. I think they kickstarted it, and it came out last year. Because I already finished... The first game is a Game Boy Color game, so we're not playing that one, for certain. And I already finished the GBA and DS games, so... yeah. So how's that stream starting up?
Works just fine. We have Ethan, Greek guy, Chris, I think his name is. Chris.
Yeah! What's up?
And that one guy. All in here already.
Yeah.
I think they beat me here, if anything.
So, what do you think? Start a new game and see the not so great bit, or just skip that and play the actual game?
I don't know. Chat, what do you guys think? That'll probably take a second.
That'll probably take a minute or so. Yeah.
But
fuck it, we'll start a new one, and I'll just blast through it as quickly as I can.
Sure. What you were getting super robot-y, so I didn't actually hear what you were saying. What is with the intro? Or the song?
It is the worst EDM garbage I've ever heard.
I don't even know what that is. So, yeah.
Electronic dance music.
Oh.
I believe is what the acronym stands for. It's really bad.
That's a shame.
Yeah, kind of. Like, the rest of the soundtrack is great. Like, I won't speak a word against the rest of it, but that one song is not, and they put it right at the beginning of the game, is not great either. Like, first impressions go, not the best. But yeah.
I gotta say, though, they nailed Shantae's design, though. She is super cute.
Yeah. Pretty much all of the girls are, including the zombie girl, which is really weird.
I'm not exactly a stranger to that. I have seen Monster Musume, I mean...
Yeah, one of her arms does seem to be bolted on, which might be a bit of a red flag, but, I mean, I'm not that picky.
I assume you mean the monster girl.
Yeah.
I mean the zombie.
Girl,
okay. Yeah. Okay. I thought maybe you meant Shantae or something. So is this... What kind of game is this? Like a beat-em-up platformer?
This is a Metroidvania-style platformer, kind of. Like, I've played all of the games that are on Steam, at least. And the previous two, like there's 3 on Steam, one that wasn't re-released, that was on the Game Boy Color, the first one. And the first 2 were Metroidvania. Pretty simple ones, like fairly straightforward. But that was the basic thing. You know, you fight things, you get new power-ups and such. You get heart containers that increase your life and stuff like that. Then this one goes more for a level-based system. Like stages. But they still kind of have the Metroidvania thing.
So you get powers later and have to come back to earlier levels?
Yeah, basically. Like, from a practical standpoint, all it means is the map system works slightly differently, but it actually has a different dimension to the game feel, I feel like. It's not quite the same experience, makes it feel a little bit more artificial, I think. It's all artificial as a video game.
I can see that. Yeah. I mean,
you don't move from place to place yourself, you just pick the level on a level select screen, and that's a little Yeah.
It feels less like one giant environment and more just like instances.
Mm. Yeah. What was I? Right, workshop thing. So yeah, this is the hub stage and such. So, just between levels, you'll talk to people and maybe get some power-ups out of it, and such, and the plot will progress. And then you'll go do a new level, or get told to go back to an old level with a new power-up and do something different.
Is it like Persona 5 where the people will have their own little like side stories almost?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, cool.
Like, in the previous game, Shantae's friend Sky gets into a romance with one of the villain's minions, but then as soon as you meet him, he gets petrified, and you get a little plot where you have to try and find a way to unpetrify him so he can do his job. And then when you do, he breaks up with her immediately.
Oh.
Like, I had a lot of time to think while being stoned and, you know, plenty of fish in the sea. So, see ya. That's pretty much it.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know what he just told me to do. Oh, that was it, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Like I say, you do bits and pieces of hub world stuff here, and then you get to go to a level. It's almost puzzles, but not really. It kind of feels like busy work, to be perfectly honest. But, yeah.
It does kind of seem that way.
So, item shop, that's what they said, yeah. So, how you doing, Slicer?
Well, my last day of school was technically yesterday. I had my math final, which apparently I got an A on, which I was not expecting.
Sweet.
I was expecting, like, C at highest. So that's good. I
good
definitely graduate.
Woo.
Yeah, basic mathematics.
See,
it's funny. They
but
on
it's
the
not when you do math. I don't...
yeah.
Judging.
Real quick,
Anyway.
Lucy Arasado. The building floors reference for the title was the alternative of what we were going to do was crap. What's it called?
It was Sky Factory, and I joined a server with Ethan F, who was kind enough to let us all in and muck around in his world. But I got to a point yesterday where all I'm going to be doing today is rebuilding the floor. So I figured this was a little more interesting. What were we doing? Probably here.
But yeah, it turns out I'm actually pretty good at math when they give me the calculations, so I can actually do the math instead of having to force myself to memorize calculations or the formulas. It's crazy. It's only what I've been saying for the past 3 years. But so yeah, I have officially graduated college, or unofficially rather, since I still haven't actually gotten my diploma or anything.
Alright, so you have enough credits, but they want to do the ceremony thing like usual at the end of the year.
Yes. So I'm not going to that because you need to buy a gown and a hat, and that's like $40. And then an afternoon that I could be spent sleeping.
So you basically just went, send me my shit, and I'll, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So I will be getting that in the mail at some point.
Fair enough. So are you still attending classes and, like, just for funsies, since you paid?
No, the semester's over. I mean... But on Friday, I have my last day of work, since I was a work-study on campus. Honestly, I don't even really need to go, but there's some last-minute stuff I wanted to help my bosses with.
Oh yeah, I get that. Like, I assume it was a good job, and that's why. Because with good jobs, you actually want to help out and be useful, and not treat it like an annoyance.
Yeah. Yeah, they apparently they all got together and made me a card. It was really sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Wrote like a bunch of really nice things on it. It was really nice. And then gave me $80.
Do you not get paid elsewise?
I do. This was on top of my already normal salary. Like, the card just had $80 in it. Was not really expecting that.
Christmas bonus?
Sure, I guess.
If you need to rationalize it, Christmas bonus, there you go. Dunzo.
Yeah.
So
Hey, that paid for my doctor's visit this morning, so that's nice.
So you don't have to deal with those awkward feelings.
Yes, those. Ethan says, Casey's decided that everything needs to be rainbows. We're trying to decide what material we should use to close him in.
You won't be able to close me in. It will be rainbows to the sky. You already have rainbows! That's the thing with Sky Factory. It's surrounded by a rainbow at all times.
Lucy Arisato is apparently Troper, and he asks, do you need me to fix the floor for you?
I don't know what's broken with it, but no thanks. Like, literally, I'll be tearing it all up and replacing it with, rainbow blocks. This is your level select screen, by the way, is this. So...
in response to not being able to block you in, Troper says, fucking watch us.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eason says, and I assume in regards to the rainbow part, he has a point.
Yeah, rainbows.
Also, I can't post said links. I know they exist, but we can't post links in the chat, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't
Sorry
know
to ruin.
I don't know whether that's a setting in like YouTube or anything. I've tried to find it before, but I didn't. So
I don't know. I've tried and it just straight up won't work. So it didn't say like, hey, enable links in the chat or anything like that.
And here we go with the stupid song. Yeah.
Troper says, with rainbows, yeah? I can do that for you. Bane mine that shit and start placing the blocks. Also, you could just Google R34 of this. Yeah, well, yes, I know.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. For good oh god, the fucking vocals. Yeah, for good reason. The characters in this look pretty good. Well designed.
Yeah.
And skimpily clothed. Is also a
Well, it's
thing.
hot. You know. I mean,
Yeah, it's like desert places and coast and such. Oh god, these fucking vocals, I swear.
I was more focused on the straight up unfair things that are happening in the game. Like, the enemies are just landing on you. What the fuck?
Yeah, that'll happen, but it, like, consistently gives you extra health, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, fair enough. That one guy says, yeah, but I'm lazy, and you guys have good taste. Well, thank you.
Well, I've lost thread of the conversation, so...
Porn. We have
Oh.
good taste in porn, apparently.
Thank you, I think.
Just
Don't-
taking the compliment that it was intended as.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so, like I say, there's a lot of Metroidvania stuff, kind of. Like I say, it's level-based, but there's one way you can turn into a crab so you can go underwater in these areas, but I think there's one also where you can be a mermaid so you can swim better. So there'll be areas you can't get to as a crab underwater, and you have to be a mermaid instead. Like that,
Oh, is
that,
this,
that
is
kind
this
of progression
the one
system.
with, is this the one with multiple forms? So
Yeah.
that a lot of them do the same thing, but some are just objectively better?
No. Like, the monkey can climb walls, the elephant is slow as fuck, but can smash through walls. Different walls, that is. Like I say, mermaid, swimming. And the crab, like I said. Those are the only ones that I've gotten to so far. Oh, and there are extra ones in this game that you can buy that give you, like, generic benefits. Like, you can turn into a tree and use your magic to create healing items for as long as your magic lasts.
Do you mean buy with real money or buy with in-game currency?
With in-game currency, like this
Oh,
money that
good.
I'm collecting all the time.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, there's none of that in this game as far as I'm aware. I haven't seen any. I think there's a DLC campaign as one of the villain characters, and that's about it. Oh god. This song will end eventually, and I won't have to listen to it anymore.
Let's see. Ethan corrects us on the fact that she should probably be wearing a full body covering white robe, or in a light color, if she was in the desert. But, yes, but that's not sexy. So,
Yeah.
we're gonna ignore that.
I mean, technically she's not in the desert right now, she's in the coast. Which is different. Coast is bikini, like, geography, whatever.
Sure. And that one guy...
I mean, technically geology as well, because bikinis rock. Huh?
True. They do. And back to the porn, that one guy says, well, you guys aren't into scat, piss, or cucking. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I don't think either of us are into any of those. And he follows it up with NTR is horrible, and it really is. Seriously.
I've spent some time on Questionable Questing. It's like a mantra that NTR is a trash fetish on there. It's something they say a lot. Like, a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. Notori is kind of fun, though.
I don't know what that is.
It's reverse NTR. So, like, the hero stealing the girl, pretty much. Sort of, it's a weird variance. I don't know. You may as well just call it trash, honestly. It's all kind of stupid. I don't know, it's kind of made a rise. There's a lot of it appearing recently, and it's stupid. Sucks. Hate it. That and sounding. I don't know why that's on the rise recently.
Memes? Probably.
Sure, I guess.
It's like one of those shock horror things that, you know, memes are really fond of.
But it's not. Like, it's actual porn. A dick in dick.
That's not sounding, that's docking.
Right. Right. I don't know the difference there, and I don't think I want to know. I'll just take your word on that.
Like, sounding is just putting objects in your dick. Like, if there's another dick involved, it's usually docking, but usually that doesn't actually go very far. Like, theoretically you could sound with someone else's dick, but that's like, oh boy, you are really, really into this. Like, disturbingly, health-riskingly into this.
Yeah, that's disturbing. On every level. We should have probably just called this... Apparently we should have called this stream kink shaming.
Yeah, I guess I can't really judge. I've never watched any sounding porn, so I can't say whether I would enjoy it or not. But I have a sneaking suspicion, so I'm gonna...
Well, have you ever seen a video of a person getting kicked in the nuts, and you empathize because you realize that would be horrendously painful? That's essentially what looking at docking anything is like. It's like, this isn't... There's no way this is erotic or pleasurable. This is just... That would hurt. That would hurt a lot.
Yeah. Like, it does just hurt, is my understanding. For a while. I don't know the mechanics of what makes it pleasurable. I've
asked some of the artists that draw it, and it's like, it was described to me as the same as, like, a guy being too big for a woman. So, like, belly bulge kind of big. It's like, yes, that would hurt.
Isn't
but it's
that
erotic.
also kind of painful?
Yes, yes. That's how it was described to me, though. It's like, they ignore that fact because they find it erotic. I don't know. It's weird. Chris, I mean, the Greek guy, yeah, him. He asked if we'd seen the latest SAO episode.
I
have,
watched it.
actually.
I watched it just before starting the stream, like I woke up, saw Slicer said, "Hey, we're gonna stream today," and I was like, "But SAO was there," and I had just enough time to watch it first. So
Nice. But shit, Sugu, that's her name. How do you feel about the changes they made to her character?
that she's generic older sibling, in that she hates everything about her sibling. Yeah, I can see that as valid.
Much.
I mean, she's the younger sibling, I think, right? But still.
Honestly, they're so close together, I don't think it actually matters.
Oh, right, sorry. Not blood related, so it doesn't matter. That's how Japan works.
Yeah. Yeah. I just love that the creator of that series has actually gone on record as saying that was the worst decision he's ever made about that series.
What, making the sister want to fuck her brother?
Yes. Also, yes, Ethan, the fact that Asuna is still a badass is amazing. I'm so glad they didn't just, like, sissify her, basically. Or damsel.
We haven't seen much of her, but all she's done is spit on the dude, and I thought that was great.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't really have much of a chance, and that really... The fact that they did add that in does speak volumes.
Sweet. Never have to listen to that song again. Super psyched about that. Can actually enjoy the rest of the game. Whoa.
Bomber says, I never understood how anime viewed incest. I can't even imagine dating girls I grew up with. If you were my play cousin, quotation marks, then no, we wouldn't ever be a thing.
I don't know what play cousin means. That's a term I've never heard before.
If you're, like, well before puberty, let's say, like, 6, 7, 8, that kind of age, if you have play dates with someone, that kind of thing. Like,
Okay.
you've been friends so long, yeah, that kind of...
That's more of a Victoria's childhood friend thing, I think. But, yeah, siblings... Japan doesn't care that much about incest, which at this point actually kind of makes sense given the lowering birth rate in that country, where, yeah, we don't care who you fuck, as long as you make babies. That's the important part, making the babies. Let's make the babies, okay? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why they're surprisingly East Coast. That's, like, literally the wrong direction for them. But, you know.
Well, you tried. But, yeah, they really need to start pumping out those babies. I don't know. I wouldn't be a help. I literally just got off the call with off the phone, rather, with the clinic in a town nearby about a vasectomy, so would not be a help.
Oh, you getting the snip?
Yes. I do not want kids, and I'm sick of having scares.
Valid. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Having a tiny girlfriend is great until condoms keep breaking.
Ah. Okay, just gonna, just move past that slightly. Yep.
Yeah, it's fine. I have no idea where to go with that one either.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There's a place to go with it. That one guy says, one of my uncles is probably the product of incest. That, Oh, okay.
Good to know, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what to do with that either. It's kind of,
What you buying in the shop?
Right, the shop, buying stuff. So you can buy spells and such that do stuff, like this one basically broke the game in the first one. Well, the first one on Steam, rather. So I'm gonna buy it twice.
Is it a one-time use thing, or do you get to use it forever?
There's a meter on the left, the green bar, that's the thing, and that's the wrong button. That's the one. And it does that. And it lasts for a while, and you can just turn it on and off.
Oh, alright.
Yeah. So...
It says it hasn't quite happened yet, so I don't know what you mean, but... Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's pretty freaking broken in the first one on Steam. And then the second one on Steam nerfed it a little bit, so it was an item instead of a spell. So you only had a limited number of them, and you would have to find or buy more. Yeah, so I actually had to play the second game a little bit, and that was kind of fun, actually. You know, sometimes actually making the game a little more challenging is a good thing. So
That's fair.
what am I supposed to be doing?
God damn. Apparently, Bomber's grandmother had 12 kids, so it's kind of hard to avoid someone you're related to. That one guy's grandma had 10 kids, including his mom. That's insane. Also, apparently Ethan has an entire inventory of chicken shit that he wants to pass on to someone, and is trying to shovel it off onto Troper.
I have no crops, I have no animals, I have no use for that whatsoever. Just want to point that out before it somehow gets dumped into my chest. Just... Ew. That brought out some thoughts.
You said those words. They came out of your mouth.
Yeah, we're literally talking about shit, and I said dumped on my chest. That happened just now.
Nice. I'm shocked I'm not unconscious right now. I'm actually on codeine, so that should have hit me like half an hour ago.
Yeah. Slice is sick, by the way, everybody.
Bronchitis. It's a bitch. I get it every year, apparently. Ethan says, Casey, you realize where it has to go now, right?
No, I don't.
I'm sure he has no idea what you're talking about. He's gonna log in and there's just gonna be piles around him.
Okay. That already happened with Redstone. In fairness, I did keep bugging Troper for Redstone for like a day. And then he got a system set up where he just gets all of the redstone all of the time. So at one point I was just looking through my chest trying to find something, and then I turn around and the floor over my entire base was covered in redstone. It looked like someone was having a heavy flow day. And yeah, he just looks at me and says, like, pay no attention to this or something like that. Yeah.
Ignore me!
Yeah. So, that happened. I appreciate all the redstone. Cleaning it up was kind of a bitch, but sure.
Have you been following the Rooster Teeth Let's Play of that still?
Of what?
Of the Sky Factory.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Should be a new episode today, actually.
Yeah, I hope so. The one where they were setting up the new fishing jamboree.
Oh, that was
cool. That highlighted that I hate the chisel on water thing, where you just get a little tiny block of water.
Oh, yeah.
Gavin just put those all over Jeff's farm fishing area. It's like, how do you actually get rid of those?
You need the chisel for chiseling bits, and that's how you get rid of it. That's the only way to do it.
So you only just individually chisel off the tiny pieces?
Yep.
Oh, that's terrible.
Also, that apparently can lag the fuck out of the game, so...
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
They might get someone else to do it. They might get Trevor in to come clean it up.
And then dump the remnants off of the edge of the world so that they don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm
in fairness, they wouldn't get Trevor to do it. He's, like, the boss for whatever reason. I don't understand why, but he is. So, probably... I bet they get Andy to do it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Andy does seem kind of the office bitch a little bit.
I mean... Yes. I don't know, I don't like Andy very much, honestly.
I like Andy. but I can understand why people don't. But yeah, I think I'd be okay.
He has his moments, but I don't know. There's just something about him. He sets off all of my weird alarms.
He is weird. That's kind of why I like him.
Fair enough.
Also, shouldn't talk shit about Trevor. Like, as being a boss, he is apparently good at that. He's not great on camera, but that's all I see of him, so...
Oh, fair enough.
Not really fair for me to judge him as a manager at all. Like, not in the slightest. So I apologize.
Well, if he's doing well at it, I'm glad he found his role done.
Yeah.
All I knew is him as the kind of gopher for the Minecraft series. If they wanted something done, they'd call him in. Or Jeremy.
That was Matt.
Oh, it was. Okay, I'm mixing up people then. My bad.
Yeah, Matt basically just builds everything. Or finds interesting things for them things to do.
Right.
And edits videos, obviously. Everyone in that other room edits videos all the time.
I assumed everyone did, honestly. They make so much content. Like,
I don't think the main room do much anymore in terms of editing. Like, there are certain ones where they take a specific project, like Gavin has gotten really into trying to get that Manual Samuel video working because they lost the game audio, so he's been trying to replace it manually. Which is kind of apropos, actually, now I think about it. But, yeah, that has been slow going for obvious reasons. That's an incredibly time-intensive and difficult task.
I imagine, yeah. I mean, like, what would that even involve? Like, replaying the game exactly as the audio?
Yep, that would involve playing the game, and trying to get as much accurately as they can to what actually happened, or looking at Let's Plays for their footage of the game, like, just without audio. And I think he said recently that he got about a third done. I don't know whether he's still trying to do that or not.
That would be pretty amazing if he did manage it. Like, it's completely pointless. Like, they could just re-record it, but...
Like, originally they couldn't, because a lot of that stuff in that game is like, oh, wow, that's a thing I just saw, and commenting on it, and you want to be fresh for that sort of thing. But at this point, it's been like over a year since they played it. They've forgotten everything that happened in that game. They could just do it over.
Yeah. I don't know if I should say that. I'll leave it as a surprise.
Okay.
Ethan discovered some interesting things with chicken shit, apparently.
You can turn it into fertilized dirt.
That might be it?
That's about all I know about what you can do with chicken shit.
You
can make dirt that is better for growing plants. Which is, as those go, probably actually pretty obvious for a use for chicken shit, for manure.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of surprised. Are there other kind of manures in that game?
Not to my knowledge, but there are a lot of chickens in that game, so it makes sense that would be the one that they would use. Like,
it's true. They don't have different kinds of cows, I assume. It's just the chickens that you can make all kinds of crazy different kinds of chickens.
Yeah, and I was getting slightly miffed because okay, I just fell all the way down. That sucks. Yeah, I was getting kind of miffed because I had a platform with dirt for spawning animals, and I had the Jeff problem of it just not spawning for like 3 days straight.
Oh.
Like real life days. And bear in mind, with the way the server works, it basically runs consistently. Like, it doesn't turn off. Or it isn't off for as long as anyone's playing. And usually there's someone playing, so...
Oh, okay.
Ow.
Bomber asks, do you guys as families have a go-to Christmas meal / food?
Yes. I'm anything like very specific to us, not really, but like Christmas dinner consists of usually a turkey crown, because that's easier than a full turkey because there's no point having a full turkey when there's only 3 of us. Stuffing, Yorkshire puddings, because I insist on Yorkshire puddings with any fancy meal that we have, because they're amazing and you should have them all the time. And then fairly standard vegetable stuff like roast potatoes and I'm trying to focus and do this at the same time. Roast potatoes, garden peas, carrots in butter, and boiled potatoes we usually have, just because I don't think anyone actually particularly likes them, but we just have them. Yeah. And that's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah, since we hunt for a lot of our meat, since it's a little bit cheaper than just buying a massive amount of beef, we have deer steaks pretty routinely on holidays.
Venison.
So it's quite good. It's very good. And then everything else is just kind of like whatever we're all in the mood for.
Yeah, I feel like that Skyrim fic I'm writing, I feel like I should be trying weird meats. Like, finding out what I think of weird meats. Like
I mean, I would sure as hell do that.
Goat, deer, and elk, but I think that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's worth trying for variety, yeah. I mean, are you that carnivorous, or does that interest you as a person to want to try new meats?
I like eating meat. I mean, I tried kangaroo once.
Yeah?
It was okay.
Does it taste just like it's something else, or is it just
Not really.
kangaroo?
Tasted a lot like beef, but I forget, it's been like over a year since I ate it, so a lot of the details have been lost on me. But
Fair enough.
But it was okay. Had it on a burger.
I think the most exotic thing I had was alligator, and that was actually pretty good. Just kind of tough. Bomber actually, like, the same second I said that, Bomber said, alligator's great, but strangely, crocodile's gross and too tough.
Well, they are different animals. That makes sense that they would not taste the same.
Well, yeah, but I'm surprised one is really good and the other is just bad.
Racist.
Yes, I'm gator racist, swamp racist.
See, even when you're saying that, you're saying the one that you actually like. That's just so typical.
Yeah.
Can't even bring yourself to talk about crocodiles.
I don't actually know what they are. Crocodiles.
They're animals that live in water sometimes. Shit, I don't think crocodiles do actually. Fuck. I don't.
You don't know either.
Yeah, I have no idea about crocodiles.
I wonder if they taste bad or if they're too tough because, like, if you had a young crocodile, like the veal of the crocodile world, would it be better?
I have no idea.
That one guy asked, so what have you guys been playing? I have been playing a game called Dead Effect 2, and it is mindless zombie slaying. It is just piss poor easy. It's
There
fun,
are
though.
a lot of games like that.
Yeah. This one has, like, it's not like a game that would be on Jimquisition, though. I mean, like, this is an actual game that people put effort into. They might have I'm not sure if it has reused assets. I'm not familiar enough with the bargain bin of Steam to say or not, but it has like voice acting and actual story, stuff like that. Even if the voice acting for the main character is unfortunately pretty poor.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this game has a somewhat similar problem. There isn't much voice acting, but a lot of it is Saturday morning cartoon level, and not the good ones. Like, what are the bad ones? Fuck, I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't really know. It's been a while since I've seen Saturday morning cartoons.
That one with the cat that was a police cat or something.
SWAT
Bonkers!
Cat?
Bonkers, that was it.
I don't think we got that one here. That's not familiar at all.
That was a Disney one, I believe.
Ah, that would be
Disney
why.
cartoons started getting shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of weird though. Like the main character's voice acting is really flat and like it's affected weirdly. Like they might be their second language or something like that. But the voice acting for all three of the support characters are quite good, or at least solid. I don't know. Just kind of confusing that the voice director would let that slide.
Maybe it was just, hey, developers, we need someone to voice this character, so get in the booth. And that was about it.
Yeah, sure. I believe that.
Like, sometimes that works out with, like, Claptrap. Sometimes it doesn't. With, like, the myriad games where it doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, wait, Claptrap is a developer?
He was, like, one of the executives for, Gearbox, I think.
Oh,
He now works for Rooster
cool.
Teeth. Which is a
I wonder if the
I didn't think would happen, but yeah.
I wonder if the Gearbox is working on Borderlands 3.
Oh, I wonder. Are they working on the, most successful franchise they have currently? Are they working on a sequel to that?
Well, it seems obvious, but like they haven't announced anything, and there's been like one screenshot leaked. And yeah, it was in Borderlands art style, but it doesn't really mean anything.
Well, they had to make a whole new engine and everything and do all the rigmarole of switching to a new platform, which does actually take effort if you're actually going to make a decent game. So, I can understand why.
That's true.
Friggin' mermaids.
That one guy mentioned he's been playing Neo, and his opinion was, it's great, but the DLC bosses are bullshit, which, if it's based on Dark Souls, or takes inspiration from, yeah, it's gonna have that. Apparently, the way to get around that is to hit max level and then respec for a one-shot build, then make the game your bitch.
And have the character know Kung Fu. It's a Matrix joke.
Ah, of course.
Because Neo.
Ah, right.
Heh.
That's a series honestly, I don't think I've even seen all three Matrix movies.
First one's good, second one has a good fight scene, and then it's kind of stupid for the rest of it. Sorry, two good fight scenes, but one of them hasn't aged particularly well. And then the third one just kind of shits over everything.
Oh. Yeah, the only thing I've seen the first one, bits of the second one, and then the last part of the third one, and I think that was because of game theory. Maybe he did a Matrix one.
Well, if you watch the highway fight and the bit in the middle where he's in just just like an open area and he's fighting a bunch of smiths, then like suited dudes and sunglasses, then you've seen all you really need to see of that game, of that film.
Oh, then yes, I've seen all of the important parts. Or the good parts, or whatever.
Yeah. So, this was the level where I noticed that Shantae could be kind of dark sometimes.
Are those women getting ground up?
Nope. They are getting fish attached to the legs.
Oh. Huh.
So that they can look like mermaids. After which, they will be canned and sold as monster food.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That, that's really fucked up.
A little bit. Ow. Also, I kind of love the soundtrack of this level, just want to say. It's pretty good.
Bomber says, Wachowski sisters just don't have any good ideas left. Sad to see, since I thought they were geniuses at one point, and I don't know who that is, actually.
It used to be the Wachowski brothers, then things happened. I thought one of them was still a dude, actually, but yeah, I guess most of them had to change.
Huh. Okay. Did they make something? I'm not familiar with the Wachowski brothers either. That does sound vaguely familiar.
The Matrix.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing we were talking about for the past 5-10 minutes is the thing we were talking about still. Sorry.
I don't know why my mind was on video games. I was thinking maybe like they were an indie creator or something.
I'd take a look at what they would make as a video game. Probably wouldn't have it probably wouldn't have very consistent mechanics, but I'd take a look.
Well, that's why you get other people to design the game part. They're just the story consultants.
Okay, see, that might be a game I wouldn't want to look at.
Why is that?
Because story is basically the part where the Matrix pretty much just failed miserably.
Oh,
like,
right. Never mind that.
They had a concept, and then they attached a story to it, and it was a shit story.
That's a shame. M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong luckily looked like he turned his career around with the movie Split being a success.
Split?
I've never seen that. Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
So, what was the audience reaction to it? Was it Split? Ha ha ha.
That was really bad. Really bad. I did when I was playing Dead Effect last night because my sleep schedule's weird right now.
Ditto.
Yeah. I did realize that I would probably be pretty good as like a like a beta tester player, because I have a lot of nitpicks with games. Like,
that's not what beta testers do, generally speaking, but sure.
Well, I don't know what that type of position would be called. Somebody that points out a lot of the little mistakes that a game makes that would just make it play better.
Game designer.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, like you actually need a position on the design team if you want to have any kind of worthwhile input. Beta testers are just kind of the ones that... Well, that's testers, actually. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm confusing two different things. Though, beta testers are usually outside the company and don't actually have that much involvement at all, so... Like, at this point, it's a glorified demo position. Like,
right.
Hey, you get to play the game early, and that's all that comes out of this. Like, we're not going to listen to any of your opinions. It's just, at best, it's to stress the servers a little bit and see how that works.
Wow, that sounds really annoying. But, yeah, I was playing, like, the biggest complaint I had with the game was, I used shotguns for quite a while, actually. Like, most of the game, or most of the time I was playing. And, no shotgun in that entire game has a magazine. So you just individually load every shell, every time. And even as, like, you can upgrade your reload speed, but you still spend a good 75% of your playtime reloading. And that's not fun. Ow. Whew. You ever got a cramp in, like, the arch of your foot?
No, I get them in my shins. All of the time.
Ouch. The kind that you can only fix by, like, pressing your foot against something, or, like, straining the muscle?
Yep.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it's not a great way to wake up most mornings. But that's how it happens. Also, I can be a bat now. I just wanted to mention that.
I noticed that. I was going to ask about that. Like, when did that happen?
Just now, about 30 seconds ago.
Huh.
Yeah. No big deal. I can be a bat. And a shitty monkey.
And apparently your monkey can use kamikaze.
I forget what worms say when they do kamikaze, so I will not make the joke. Because that's my choice. Yeah.
Are you proud of yourself?
About what? I've lost the thread of everything that's going on right now, so.
Your willing refusal to make a suicide joke, or kamikaze joke, rather.
It's really the same thing, but yeah. Alright, so these are the expensive dance moves that you can learn. One of them is So, yeah, you can just buy one that lets you make healing items. You can buy one of the expensive spells or something, I think. And you can turn into a blobfish, which I don't know what it does.
Gain the powers of a blobfish, I guess?
I mean, look at it.
Yeah.
It even has a not a dunce cap, a beanie on it, like with the propeller. I don't. Okay, or you can turn into a jug filled with gems, which is the money. Yeah. So.
I mean, I guess the point of a blobfish might be like to get the enemies to run away from you. Like, ew, hideous.
I'm gonna try this out because I never actually used it before.
Yeah, sure. You can farm money in this game, right?
Yeah, that's the gem jug thing, is kind of for that, but is apparently really bad at it.
Huh.
Because that's what I'm doing.
Oh. Yeah, you got like 8 for that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a waste of time.
I mean, yeah, technically that could pay for itself, but it would take quite a while. That was like 200, wasn't it?
Yep. 200 and sacrificing the use of another, potentially more useful thing.
Bomber asked the horrifying question of, I wonder how many more undiscovered fish are out there that have human-like faces. I hope none.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with hoping for none too. Oh, by the way, minigame. Yay!
Woo! You know what I like in games? Achievements that actually give you things.
Yeah, there's not many of those in games now, though.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can easily substitute achievement for challenge if you want. Like, anything in-game that is a task that you gotta do, and it gives you something.
Yeah. I mean, those are still around, which is nice.
Yeah.
Usually achievements are just tied to getting those.
Pretty much. I forget, did you play much Xbox Live?
No.
Ah.
Because from everything I heard, the community was toxic, and I don't want to deal with that when they're at their best. So.
Yeah. All communities are basically toxic online. Like, yeah, I'm just growing used to it. But, yeah, I forget what it was called, but there was actually a subsection of achievements that would get you things for your avatar. I think they called them I think they called them trophies, but I can't actually remember.
Fuck. I know what you're talking about, and I got some in... God, I don't even remember what I think it was the Maw. Yeah, and that was a thing you could do. It was not worth it, generally.
I thought it was kind of cool.
Like,
honestly.
I think one of them got me a The Maw t-shirt to wear on my avatar. Cool.
Yeah. The Left 4 Dead ones were... There were 4 of them, and they got you a shirt and a med pack. So that was kind of cool. Fanta Gaming pops in to say, I'm watching this in class.
Oh.
Maybe not want to do that. I mean, I appreciate the viewership, but, like...
Yeah, dude,
and maybe focus.
I don't care.
Yeah. Alright.
Maybe we should shout more. I should turn the volume up so that it gets caught.
Yeah, just spike the volume. That'll be great. It's not like he's wearing headphones, probably, or anything. Or earbuds.
I mean, it's streaming. You kind of comes with the territory. You could say streaming comes with screaming. I'm funny.
That's a word for it, yeah. Bomber asks, also, how long are you guys going to wait to see the new Star Wars? I'm not fully invested, and I know the movies are going to be packed, so I'm probably going to see it in mid-January.
Oh man, how long am I going to wait to see the new Star Wars? Maybe like... holy mackerel, because it's a mermaid. I don't know, about as long as I've waited to see the previous Star Wars, which is ongoing.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong people. Neither of us is Star Wars fans, I don't think.
I watched the original trilogy, they were pretty great. Then, I don't know, that whole thing with the prequels. That's a really good way to lose interest in a franchise.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Also, that is one sexy fish. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's basically what Shantae looks like when she transforms into one. More or less. Only smaller. Which, I don't know whether that affects your, interest, let's call it.
I mean, I'm not into giantess, so... That's better.
Yeah.
In fact, that's a fetish that straight up confuses me, so...
Yeah, that seems like one where people just kind of want to get into suffocation, but want to do it in a really, really weird way.
Yeah. Also, Vor. That's another one that just... it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. I feel like there's probably some crossover in those particular ones, though.
Yeah. I was about to say, do you have like a dodge roll or something? But
nope.
You know.
Alright. Yay.
Bomber, I can't tell if you're asking if you actually want me to explain vor or not. I'm going to anyway, though, so fuck
It means
it.
eating.
Vor is when you consume someone alive. Usually the person is shrank, so this is done like they just kind of swallow them whole, kind of thing.
Usually? I somewhat disagree. I see a lot more of that stuff where someone just gets cooked and bits of them get eaten.
Oh, that's
I
eating.
don't read it. I just see a lot of summaries of it, and that's basically what it is.
I think vor is specifically when the person is still alive. Whether they're shrank or just consumed whole and it's like a snake eating somebody, I don't know. But yeah. Guy, I'm kind of confused on that. What made you think I was going to be into Giantess?
Because from the
curious.
audience perspective, you're into everything, Slicer.
That's a fair point. You're not actually wrong on that one, but that's one of the few that I'm really pretty neutral on. Also, this is a really weird section of this fight. Like, you can only hit her once.
Yeah, but it's like one of those Zelda boss fights where it only takes a few hits.
That's fair.
I say that not actually having played much of a Zelda game. There we go.
Well, even if you haven't played it, you got the analogy pretty spot on. That is the case.
Good to know.
Once you knock a boss down in Zelda, you wail on it, but you only actually have to knock it down like 3 times.
We've all got to eat. That's why I was turning people into fish people.
Yeah, that's a justification, sure.
What was I supposed to do? Leave money lying on the table? I ran out of legit mermaids after my orders were filled. I just needed a few shipments of B-grade product to help bridge the gap, that's all. Like, presumably...
Did he just admit to...
Presumably, we stopped this after his first couple of shipments went through. Just want to point that out. So, probably a lot of pretty girls got turned into mermaids and then eaten. Because that was the whole thing. Yeah. So,
did he just admit to genociding the mermaid race?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow. That's kind of fucked up.
He says, it's just business, and her response is, I'll give you the business. Ha 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 ha. He's killing people so they can get eaten. It's funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. It's really dark. Like,
yeah.
You were not kidding.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it was surprisingly dark. There was nothing like that in the previous 2 games, I want to say. Anyway.
Yeah. Bomber, I think you're thinking... Giantess is too much for that. You're thinking of Amazonian. He said, I think the whole idea of big girls is you want to be mothered or protected by your partner. Similar to how small girls like bigger guys. Just my assumption, though. Giantess is like 15 foot up.
Yeah.
As far as like height goes.
As in, you're not trying to be inside her, you're trying to be inside her. Like, fully. As in...
Yeah.
Totality of your existence. It's, that just seems like a good way to get crushed.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's... Giantess and foot fetish kind of go hand in hand a lot, from what I've seen. Also, another fetish.
I feel like the inverse of that fetish doesn't really exist. Like, women into legitimately enormous dudes. Like 15 feet.
That's more of a furry thing.
Is it? I don't even...
Yes.
Don't... Okay. Whatever you were going to say, otherwise I don't even want to talk about this anymore.
I was just gonna say the only time I've seen bigger men, like giant men, rather, and it's been furry.
Okay.
You have some weird limits.
Like, it was already weird when it was giant dude on regular sized girl, and then you added furries to it. At that point, yeah, I just don't even... I can't even. I don't even.
Fair enough. Welcome, Seth LL7.
Hey.
You mentions keep talking. This is getting creepy and weird. It's getting there. Have you not been watching? Well, actually, you very well could have just popped in now. So, apologies for joining in the middle of that conversation.
See, this game does have a decent sense of humor. Like, a lot of the time. Being the god of Scuttletown isn't all an easy job. Sometimes I face left. Other times, I face right.
Wow. Such variety.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. I didn't recognize the name. Sorry about that.
Yeah. You mean
Seth mentioned he was long.
7? Yeah, long time fan.
Yes. The name did sound vaguely familiar, but yeah, didn't ring any bells instantly. And yes, furries kind of go hand in hand with every fetish. And they embrace all of them, usually at the same time. I don't know what it is about being a furry that means you're okay with literally anything, but yeah, that's the thing.
I feel like you just answered your own question a little bit, but, you know, whatever. Alright.
Okay.
So like I say, busy work going on.
Day.
Sorry, what?
Just Seth mentioning he used to comment back on the blog days. And
Oh, yeah.
damn, we have some super loyal fans. Like,
Yeah.
that was years ago.
Oh.
And you still like us as people? What is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
That's a little... Maybe therapy or something?
Yeah, I guess.
That is brings up something that's kind of worth mentioning, though. The whole Patreon kerfuffle that has been going on for the past 2 weeks. That Patreon dropped on everyone's heads with exactly that amount of notice. Like, no one knew before that, as far as I can tell. So... apparently they told some people and, like, ran experiments, whatever that means, as to whether people would be okay with what they were doing. I don't think anyone's come forward to say, yeah, they asked me, and I said it was cool. I don't think anyone's said that at any point. If they have, I haven't seen it, but then they might have been drowned out in the waves upon waves of horrible, horrible backlash. So, Patreon decided to futz with a good thing and mess with all of the fees to do with donating to people on Patreon, like us. And in doing so, managed to piss everyone off because it was something no one asked for, and turns out no one really wanted. So, yeah. As an outcome of that, a couple of days... Go on.
He's not overstating that when he says everyone. Everyone was angry about this.
Yep.
To some degree. Usually extreme.
Yep.
It's stupid.
Creators and donators. Creators because they didn't want Patreon to just sort of reach in and determine how the relationship between creators and donators worked. Like, Patreon is a middleman and one that we kind of tolerate existing, and as long as they don't mess with anything, we're fine with it. And donators were pissed off because they were being told, hey, you're going to pay more money with no notice. So there you go. And that's pretty much all the input they got on that. So no one was particularly enthused about this whole plan that they came up with. So yesterday, about 5 days before this change was going to take place, they decided to finally creep out of their hole and say, hey, yeah, we fucked up, sorry, we're going to not do any of the stuff. Like, after 2 weeks of people panicking and donators fleeing in droves and creators dropping out as quickly as they can, trying to find alternative solutions because they knew this was just going to fall apart immediately if this went forward, they finally decided, hey, we should probably not do this, and said so. So,
yeah,
that's good, because we were actually one of those creators that were going to flee in part of the droves, I suppose, because I was going to shut down the Patreon system tomorrow. So, if this had gone through, you wouldn't have had to do anything. If you donate, we would have just shut it all down, and the page would still exist, your donation would still be on there, but you would not get charged anything. Because
you can set your page to inactive, so it doesn't actually charge anyone any money.
Yeah. So, I figured that was the best course of action to see how this all shook out, but even in the meantime, I was not okay with screwing people that have supported us this long over. Like, almost all of the people that donate to us, in fact, I think all of the people that donate to us are people that have been doing so for a long, long time. Like, that kind of loyal support is not something I want to treat with just immediate just disrespect and disinterest. Like, you guys matter a lot to us, so we don't want to fuck with you at all if we can help it. So the plan was to shut down the page. If Patreon backed off, we would bring it back up again. If they didn't, we would find alternative means, like we could go through PayPal, or we could go through Drip when that starts up, or there's other ones that are less well known, like Flatter. There's a lot of different avenues we could take. So if this had gone ahead, you would not have had to deal with it. We would make sure of that.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, for now, they've backed off, which is something, but
who knows what they'll try to roll out in the future.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with it when there's that kind of breach of trust.
That too, yeah.
Yeah. So,
oh, and Seth, as a creator, you can set it so it charges people right away, so that you charge an upfront cost, and then they pay again the next time the month rolls around. So that's how you get around people pledging and then just leaving before they have to pay anything.
Yeah. From what I understand, they were trying to fix that issue permanently with just forcing everyone to pay as soon as they decide to donate. And that would mean that everyone has to pay the bank fees, which was another change they decided to implement, was making the donators pay the bank fees, which we usually have to do that. They would have to pay that on every single transaction. So if you donate to a bunch of different people, you would have to pay multiple fees. Whereas previously, you would only have to pay one fee. And that was just, hey, you send money to Patreon. That is your one charge that you will get charged on by the credit card or the bank. And they decided to change that, and that is the crux of a lot of issues for a lot of people. So they were trying to fix a problem that wasn't really a problem and had already been partially solved for no benefit when no one asked them to, really. Like, they say it's the most common complaint, but I don't think anyone seriously expected them to solve it.
No, not really.
Like,
I mean, that's just shitty people being shitty. I mean,
yeah, when you ask someone what is your biggest complaint about a service, and they tell you, that doesn't necessarily mean they expect you to fix it. It just means that's the problem that I have, the thing that I have a problem with. But that they're still using the service means that they're okay with it for the time being, So, if they really have a problem with it, you'll start to see people leave, and that will be the reason they cite. And that's when you need to listen, when you start losing people. Like, unfortunately enough, that's how a lot of, video game companies operate. They don't do anything until people stop paying money. But that's what works. And it's how it works in this circumstance as well, because Patreon were fully okay with just going ahead with this until they saw the flux of people leaving. On both sides of the equation.
It was pretty interesting to see all of the screenshots people took of their donations just leaving, like the page where it says people canceled their thing.
Yep. There were a lot of those, and understandably so.
Zero's in the chat.
Hey, Zero.
Let's see, Kainov is joining us and asked, let's see, Casey, what about trying the Magica Flux play? You were amiable to the idea way back when I watched in times before the others joined you.
Magica. Okay, I remember we were going to do Magica. We tried to do Magica. I remember that.
Tried to. I don't think the connection would work.
No, like, at the time we tried to play Magica, it was, I think, several years after Magica came out. And, the servers weren't particularly keen on a bunch of people trying to play Magica from across the world. So, it didn't work out so well. Like, a couple of us kept dropping out of the game and all sorts of stuff like that. Like, if you watched some of our later Castle Crashers videos, it was kind of like that, only about 10 times worse.
Yeah. Also, that game is hard. The controls are just not good.
Which, Magica or Castle Crashers?
Magica. Castle Crashers is fine. That controls pretty well.
Yeah, it's not the easiest game in the world to play.
Seth asked why we stream. I've always wondered why people on YouTube stream instead of just posting the whole thing.
Because then we get to answer questions like we are doing now.
Yeah, it's the audience participation part that really fuels this.
Yeah.
I mean, we could technically just record a 2-hour Let's Play and there you go, but, like, it's less interesting. We don't have quite as much to say, and, like, yeah. Zero brought up that...
Do you ever go back and watch some of the Dark Souls videos where we just say nothing for, like, 5 minutes at a time?
Yeah, we have a lot of downtime in that Let's Play.
Yeah.
Zero mentioned net neutrality got repealed. Thankfully, that still has to go through court, so it's not final, but fuck, that's fucking stupid.
They actually did that?
They actually did it.
So all that shit about Obama being a despot is just kind of sounds silly now, doesn't it?
Oh, no, those people were always quack jobs, but it's reached a new level of stupid.
Yeah.
Thankfully, from the sound of things and what I'm seeing, it seems like everyone in power right now is going to get kicked out, like, the second we have votes. At least we're going to try to, anyway.
Yeah. Like, my understanding is a lot of congressional seats and Senate seats are going to be changing colors. Well, a lot for your government system that basically is as static can be. So probably like 3. But still, there's going to be some changes. Which is nice.
What is it? We have Republicans in power now. They have the majority, so it'll be a Democratic majority, hopefully, pretty soon. And while they're not, they have their own issues. They are much better on, like, students. So that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Ethan has to leave in a few minutes, unfortunately.
Oh.
We'll miss you, man.
Don't fill my place with shit. Okay. Wait, that was Tropa, wasn't it?
No, that was both of them. Mostly Ethan.
Don't do that, then. I will give you gifts of cows, I guess. I have a couple of cows. You want them?
Also, yes, kind of. It is pretty much just blatant greed that's causing all of this. Like, there's a list of what senators took how much money from telecommunication companies.
Actually, you know what? Fuck you, I don't bow to terrorism. Do what you want to do. I don't care. Shit all over my area.
They have various responses to you that I cannot read. Bomber asks, would you punch your grandma for $100,000?
Which grandma?
I don't think it matters, and he also clarifies full force in the face, not just like a tap.
I mean, knowing me, I'd go for it, but miss, so probably. I mean, do I have to make sure I hit her? Because I would fully try to do it, but I'm fairly certain I'd still miss, so I'd kind of be okay.
I mean, I think you would have to actually make contact. Solid contact for this. Ethan also asks, does it have to be the alive one? That's, I don't know. In the spirit of the question, I think it does, but, like, I think that counts. Just the sheer effort you'd have to go through.
Ah, damn it. I hate the stage. The stage is awful.
That looks really annoying.
Oh, you haven't seen how bad it gets. Trust me. It gets really bad. Like, there is an entire platforming section. Did you see the bit in the first level with the blocks that appear and disappear, like stick out of the wall?
Yeah, a pretty classic platformer thing.
Yeah, that's really hard to do because they give you basically no notice. Like, they shake slightly is all the notice you get, and only for about half second. So, it's more about timing the really awkwardly timed jumps. They have that, but there is no floor, and the platforms are tiny, and you can't actually see the platform shaking.
Wow, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Thankfully, I actually got the bat form, so you can pretty much just skip the entire goddamn thing, and it's great.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, that's one of the things I actually like about these games. If you actually double back and do all the extra stuff, like go back and get the secret power-ups, like the bat was not on the path that I was required to go through, then it will actually benefit you in doing the levels.
Huh. That's really cool, actually. I like that a lot.
I mean, in fairness, go back and get the secret power-up so you don't actually have to deal with our bullshit and actually have to play our game is not the best sales pitch. It's like the whole microtransaction thing. Hey, you can, if you don't have the time, you can skip parts of the game and enjoy the... So you don't actually want people to play your game, then, is the implication in that statement.
Yeah, that seems, I mean, that's more like people finding a way to cheese the game. I don't think that's really their intent there, but that is kind of the impression it gives.
A lot of things make me sad nowadays.
God, I hate microtransactions.
Huh.
Like,
That's an interesting feature of the game. With the wind thing, it will actually blow pickups away. Like the heart that I just... that just came out of that enemy. Yeah, it blows away. That's a nice touch.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of irritating, but, like, it makes sense.
No, 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 no.
I have never heard anything. I'd never heard of Viva La Dirt League.
What?
That name. Kind of says anyone watch Viva La Dirt League videos. They have a hilarious one about microtransactions.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Let's see. Seth asks, is it better to be ignorant and happy or knowledgeable and miserable in your eyes? It's possible to be all four of them, so... yeah. That kind of sucks.
Besides, it cut out for a second there. But, yeah, he's not wrong. Okay. This might suck. And this is a cool sequence, but it might suck.
Why is that?
Because it's one of these.
Huh. Cool.
Kind of, except it doesn't actually tell you what the path that you're supposed to take is until you get it wrong and have to try and double back at the last second and you fail because it's actually really difficult to guess. It basically gives you no indication.
That kind of sucks. Let's see. Kind of clarifies. Check out their channel. They have skits about PUBG and a series epic NPC man about self-aware NPC in an RPG world. I really like that concept, actually. I forget what it was called, but there was a blog series about a guy who was he played as an NPC in Skyrim. Like he would just play as one. And so he had his game modded, so he had like no combat skills, and his other skills would gain very, very slowly. So it was yeah. I think he got eaten by wolves or something like that.
That sucks. That's unfortunate. Feel sorry for that guy. Rest in peace,
yes.
NPC.
Yeah, it's a fitting end for that kind of character, though. I mean, yeah, he was alone in the wilderness, and just kind of asking to be eaten by something.
And got devoured by trash mobs. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Ethan says, "All right, I'll still be listening in the car, but I have to go. Talk to you later."
Bye, Ethan.
I see you guys. Hope you enjoyed.
And here we are at the place where I just do this and skip the entire thing.
Wow. Okay. You were not kidding. You can just go straight through that.
Yep. Ow. In fact, it basically tells you to with this power up, by the way.
Yeah. Seth asked if there are any downsides to doing that.
Nope.
Huh, yeah, you're right. The only way to get to that would be to bat fly, right?
Yep.
You can't jump that far.
Nope. In theory, the monkey might be able to do it, but it's probably not worth the risk if you have the bat form.
Zero specifies that, yeah, you can't move up or down. you're kind of stuck on the x-axis here.
Yep. Which is why I'm getting as high as possible before I do it, so that I can just do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ow. You want to know how many times I fell trying to do that quote-unquote properly? It was a lot.
I imagine a lot. Yeah, that was going to be my guess.
Ow.
I do appreciate how seamless the transformations are.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It seems like the menu you got to go through to do it is very very neat.
Yeah.
Very easy to use.
I mean, they've had quite a few times to try and figure out how to do that properly. Oh, hey, I didn't get this one before. Cool beans.
Oh, nice. Okay, you kind of needed that too. Like you were really low in health.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't need that pot. I'm just gonna skip that.
Let's see. Kind of it says, ask Casey about his writing progress. Love his Skyrim SI, and his One Piece is fun too.
I have started the next Skyrim one, and progress has stalled on it a little bit, but you know, it's coming in the usual time frame of several months probably.
Yeah, it sounds alright.
Thanks.
Not a bad thing. I mean, it's certainly worth it. It's a very fun series. Like, I enjoy reading it.
Thank you. Yeah, and everything else. I've been trying to get another Life of Ninja out, but it's slow going, and I have to actually write fight scenes now. I can't get away from doing it anymore. What possessed me to write a fucking Chunin exams thing, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's forcing you to do something you're not good at.
Yeah.
You could look at it like that.
2014 Casey is a crazy person.
Yeah, he seemed to hate future Casey.
Yeah.
He's kind of an ass. Oh shit, sexy snake.
Oh, so that's your thing. You're a scaly. Okay.
No, not even a little.
That's also a thing, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Subsection of furries, yeah.
Yeah. They specify
Its own
by
thing.
animal type. Which, I mean, sure, I guess. I don't know why.
I can't really claim I'm not. There's nothing against reptiles.
I mean, you said you enjoyed eating alligator at one point, so...
That's a fair point, I suppose.
You said it.
Yeah. Seth asks, what's one fanfiction you read that died that you wish would come back? That is a long list, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Very long.
Currently, though, kind of hoping for Dodging Prison and Stealing Witches to come back, but that's technically not dead. It's only just not updated on schedule for a while.
Yeah.
Makes me sad.
Bomber asks a very topical question here. He says, hey, I'm writing a new chapter for my story, and my last update was more than 6 months ago. Should I apologize in my author's notes, even though I can't guarantee I'll ever have a consistent upload schedule? No.
No. I mean, you're being nice by publishing it at all. It's a thing you do for fun. Presumably. I mean, that's me, usually. So, if that's why you do it, then that's why you do it, and getting people to expect you to update on their wins and not yours is kind of a recipe for disaster. Unless you are very good at keeping to a schedule.
Yeah, that's pretty much would be my answer as well. That's like, you do this because you enjoy it. If you write for other people, that's great, but I mean, you're not getting rewarded for this in any way.
When you start up a Patreon, then we can talk about whether you should set up a proper schedule, but until then, you're fine.
Yeah. That one guy says 9 minutes. I thought that was... Is that the Crossbrains thing? And they're still working on it?
That's Serpent Guy's thing, and he killed it. He killed it dead.
Hmm. That is a shame.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with his opinion. It was getting a little bit bloated and bogged down with emo-ness, frankly. But, yeah. I can see his point and why he wanted to just cut it off. Like, maybe double back and do a rewrite of the past few chapters might have saved it, but that's a lot of effort for basically no reward.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if he was already mentally done with the series, I doubt it was gonna... Even if he did rewrite it, he wouldn't have his heart in it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We got about 15 minutes, by the way.
Cool. Boss fight, and then we're done. Funnily enough, this is exactly as far as I got in my own game, so...
Huh. Well, that works out. Karnov says, the dodging prison seemed very good to me at the start, but then turned into crap.
Oh.
I can't say I agree with that. I actually enjoyed that one.
I'm curious as to his opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, please do elaborate on that, because we're both actually fans of that one. And while I don't remember a lot of the specifics, because it did kind of blend in with the things I was reading at the time, I do remember it being pretty good.
Yeah.
And yes, Seth, I definitely agree with you there. Some fics just don't have a long lifespan since some ideas can fall apart. That is quite true. Some people don't realize that some ideas can probably just support like a one-shot. They're not actually like full-on story territory.
Yeah. Like, there was that one Game of Thrones fic that was like, Tyrion fights the duel himself in that one chapter, where he has to trial by combat. The second time he has to trial by combat in King's Landing, and he does the fight himself instead of having the Martell dude have that fight, and he wins, and it turns out slightly better, but not really, because it's still Game of Thrones. That was solid as a one-shot. And then the author decided, I'm going to make this a 100,000 word epic. And it got kind of wanky, to be honest.
Yeah. That's fair. Seth asks, if you hadn't joined or made the fandom Flux, what would you have done instead? I don't know. Probably the same thing I'm doing now, only I'd have a little more free time to do other stuff. Probably nothing. Probably play video games more, I guess.
Much. I mean, maybe the time I spend stressing about the channel I would instead spend writing, maybe, but there's no guarantee of that at all.
I'm actually curious if the channel has helped you keep motivated to write.
No idea. Impossible to tell.
Because it's like, yeah, it takes up time and it takes energy in the form of the stress that it causes, but fanfiction is also on your mind more. I know for me, I just haven't really read much of anything recently. I just haven't really been motivated to. I read the stuff that I'm alerted to, but I haven't really gone out and searched for anything in quite a while.
No idea. Like I say, impossible to tell without having lived that version of my life.
Yeah.
Woo. I think I win. Yeah. Sweet.
I gotta say, I like the variety of the boss fights in this.
Yeah.
Like, their attack patterns seem very basic and samey, but the bosses themselves, like, that was nothing like the first one.
Yep. There's some inventiveness to this game when it comes to boss fights. Also, they like to have fun with them sometimes. Like, I'm kind of hoping the Squid Baron comes back in this game. Squid Baron is awesome.
That, just by name alone, that sounds fun.
Like, in the first game, he's just kind of the early boss that you fight, and he's just eh. Then in the second game, he comes back as just a tertiary character, and he's like, oh, my life sucks and everything. I'm destined to just come back and be a filler boss. And you give him a brochure to send him on vacation, and the destination you send him, you meet him again. And he's like, this place sucks! There's no beaches or anything, it's just desert. There's no comely bikini-clad squid ladies who need me to, rub sunscreen on their tentacles or anything like that. And then you go to the dungeon for that area, and he shows up again. And he's like, how full's your map right now? Your inventory? About half full, right? Filler boss. He's like, if I'm gonna be a filler boss, I'm gonna be the best goddamn filler boss there has ever been.
That's amazing.
I love that character, and like I say, I really hope he comes back in this game. He's cool.
Let's see. Kind of got back to us on the details about the dodging prison. Real quick, Bomber, I have heard that. I have been told that. But the plan was to wait a full month before doing anything unsafe. Let's see. Kanop says, it started with the fight scenes. The one in the Slytherin common room was the straw that broke the camel's back. He quotes, he dominated the students in magical combat, and Harry just jumped around like he was at the Olympic gymnastics and then conjured a wall to block basic curses and jumped to reach above it or something, instead of just doing just real calm magical deconstruction of those kids. After that, I stopped reading it when it turned in really politically savvy, quotation marks, and ultra bore with the building of castle or something. I can understand that.
Fair play. Yeah.
I realize that wouldn't appeal to everyone. And honestly, I don't expect much out of fight scenes. Like Casey's mentioned multiple times, they're fucking hard.
Yeah, they are. And frankly, they aren't really my thing as far as reading is concerned either. I'm not that invested in them, so even for people that are really, really good at them, like Kenshi, I just my eyes kind of gloss over, to be perfectly honest. That kind of sucks to say, but yeah, it's not my thing. Thankfully, Kenshi is a good enough writer that he can carry the story with other stuff as well. But yeah, so for Dodging Prison, I didn't notice that the fight scenes were bad because I don't pay that much attention to the fight scenes. So
yeah, no, I have a really hard time like imagining things in my head, like putting things on a battlefield in my mind, kind of deal. And so I usually just find myself skimming through fights scenes. I almost said boss fights.
Yeah, now I'm paranoid that I kept saying boss fights.
You did not.
Okay.
Seth says, have you guys ever considered reviewing fanfics for a show? And that one guy, I think, says this, as in backing it up.
There are... Now that you mention it, there aren't actually that many people that do that. Because all the ones that, quote-unquote, review fanfictions are just cherry-picking the shitty ones so that they can laugh at them. I mean, it's a thing we could do.
It could. It would not be weekly like that.
No, that would be kind of time intensive. Like,
yeah.
both for reading them and analyzing them a little deeper than you would usually go for, reviewing fanfiction.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Probably,
that's why we went with the recommendation format for the podcast instead, which was just, hey, this is a good story, you should check it out. It's like finding the 10% that isn't crap and such. Yeah.
A short, like 1 minute review at most kind of deal.
Yeah. So
yeah, we'd have to decide if it was going to be a chapter by chapter kind of thing, or if it was going to be overall, but we'd have to touch on certain points, or it'd be a thing. I mean, it's certainly possible. Seth says, I mean, you would have to find good ones and bad ones, but more along the lines of trying to assess quality in a wide spectrum of different varieties. That's true. I want to say it'd be kind of hard because, like, the last time I went looking for something to read, I just could not find anything. Like, anything good. There's just a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's my taste being more specific, or if fanfiction quality has really just gone downhill since the Naruto series is effectively over.
I don't know. I still find some now and again. A lot of the time I spend more time looking on places like Space Battles and Sufficient Velocity and Questionable Questing because the standard for quality is higher there. But it is also also a departure from a lot of the properties that I tend to read. Like, you'll find a lot of DC, which is another thing I'm massively enthused with. You'll find a lot of Worm, which is a thing I'm definitely not enthused with and just kind of ignore. And then every now and again you'll find something interesting from other stuff. So...
Yeah. I can only speak of, my girlfriend writes on Wattpad, and the quality of fanfiction on Wattpad is terrifying.
I don't even know what Wattpad is.
Good. Don't look into that. Bomber says, basically what I do as well, followers and favorites just give me stories I already read. Yeah, pretty much. That's where I try to find all of my stuff. But yeah, once you've cherry picked the good ones, basically, it's kind of tough to find stuff.
Yeah, it's basically, just searching through just all of the archive has its own problem of most of this stuff is shit. But then once you found all the good ones from looking through your favorites and your favorites, then you end up, instead of looking through all of the shit, you look through all of the things you've already read. It's just the same problem from a different direction.
Yeah.
So.
Ethan says, review with this ring.
That would be an interesting challenge. Aside from the fact that it's over 1 million words long, it is very multifaceted.
That would have to be in, like, 5-chapter chunks. Or, like, chunks of a grouping of chapters.
Like, I mean, it is done in story arcs in format, so... Like,
that's fair, yeah.
There's, like, 20 chapters is an arc, and that makes for a chapter-ish. So, that potentially be viable. I'll think about it. Time was, I wanted to do like an audio version with this ring, but that was, bit of a pipe dream. So, oh well.
As in, like, you reading it?
Yeah, and get people to actually cast it and do different voices. Like, that was the plan.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. That'd be kind of cool, but yeah, that'd be pretty rough.
Yeah. So, that didn't happen for obvious reasons. So yeah, I'll think about that, maybe. So, that's pretty much the end of the stream. I think, I don't even know what time we're on, because I don't know
We're
what
like,
is.
we're like 3 minutes shy of the 2-hour mark, so yeah, it was a pretty good time to stop.
Sweet. Okay, so, thanks for watching. I'm probably, I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the evening. Probably going to give Sky Factory a miss for a few hours. Come back to it later when my brain has woken up like I hope it doesn't seem like it, because I've kind of been on autopilot for this whole stream. But,
No, actually, you seem quite awake.
Yeah,
Real quick, kind of also asked if we've read any books by Anne McCaffrey or Terry Pratchett, and I have unfortunately not. I do want to read Ringworld.
Discworld is Terry Pratchett,
That's it.
And that's a series. Okay, if you're going to read Terry Pratchett, start with Color of Magic and The Light Fantastic. It's basically a good introduction to the world, and then the direct sequel to that book is what those two are.
Oh, cool.
Respectively.
Alright.
Yeah. Can't remember whether there were any. I think there was another book that followed on after The Light Fantastic. To be perfectly honest, I haven't read a lot of Terry Pratchett, and I keep meaning to and then not doing so. So that's my being a shitty person with shitty ability to find things that are good and such. Remember when I said I was on autopilot? Yeah, okay, so we're closing this out now, I think, is... Words.
See you guys.
Words. Bye, everybody.
And I don't think either of us recognize Anne McCaffrey, so I'm afraid we probably haven't read her work.
Name rings a bell, don't know who she is. But feel free to tell us in a comment or something. Or Slicer will see it in the chat in the last minute or something, maybe. I don't know. Alright, so, bye everybody.
See you guys.